The two most important parts is not to contaminate the seeds in two ways. First, from your hand, from your tools, but also from the pulp that's on the seeds. So I'm using tomatoes, but this is really for every other fruit or vegetable. So what I did here is I washed my hands, and notice I did not dry my hands with a towel because the towel is a perfect source for spores that will create mildew. Again, wash everything, but don't touch anything with towels. The same for the knife. I did wash it well with soap, rinse it well, but I did not dry it. So at this point, I'm just going to cut through the middle. And like I said, this you need to sort of think surgery room if you want. That's how doctors work. They really try not to have contamination with bacteria for them, but for this purpose, it is not a problem about bacteria, but about various fungus, fungi, spores. So what I'm going to do, there is two steps here. First, you just need to recover the seeds. And now notice the seeds have pulp on them. It's impossible to get rid of that pulp at this point. Again, I'm just showing you quickly. I'm not going to do everything now, all the tomatoes now. So what we want to do at this point is simply just have the seeds. Again, this small container, it's clean, and I did not dry it with anything, just clean. So I'm going to let the seeds sit here. I'm going to cover it partially because sometimes there are spores inside your room. Maybe if you are ventilating your room, there are spores coming through the windows. So just cover it partially, but don't cover it hermetically, because what you want to do is let the seeds stay a few days. Depends on the temperature, 2, 3, 4 days. This is about 4 days later. Now it's really important. I did not let them dry completely. If it dries completely, it's really difficult to remove the pulp. What you want it to do is just to have that pulp around each seed more viscous, easier to grab actually, because when it's fresh, the seed is fresh, removed from the tomato or from the fruit, the pulp it's very slippery. Now after a few days, you can grab the pulp and it's really easy to rub it, and just rub it with your fingers. Now also, perhaps you notice there is water in there. I put distilled water, distilled because tap water has chlorine in many cities. If you don't have distilled water or demineralized water, it's about the same thing as distilled. So if you don't have this, just get tap water, put it in a jar, open jar, let it sit at least 2 days, but be sure there is nothing dropping in there so you don't get fungus spores. Okay, so this is distilled water. Is going to kind of help me rub them. And notice when I rub the seed with a bit of water, and also obviously I did wash my fingers and I did rinse them, but did not touch any towel or any handle afterwards. Even when you close the water, be careful not to touch anything. So rubbing the seed now, it really removes any kind of pulp that was in there. It's really getting it clean. Obviously, it takes some work here, right? You are not going to do this in 2 minutes. So you need to rub each seed by seed. That's how it goes. And what you want to do also when you finish, just remove the water, put new fresh distilled water, and just keep rubbing them until you get them very clean in clear water. So we are trying to remove really the most pulp it's possible. This is how clean I got them. I did rinse again several times with fresh distilled water, and I'm going to let them dry like this at least 1 day, perhaps 2 days, just to be sure it's really perfectly, absolutely no humidity in there. I'm going to let them in this small plastic cup because if you put them on a paper towel, even if it's new paper towel, you never know, you may touch the paper towel, get spores on that. So I prefer letting them dry like this, and then either store them when they are completely dry or just start using them.